Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Tuesday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. Love you guys. And we're going to go over some more longs today. The market just is not ready to fall apart, although at times it sure looks like it wants to. And we may be close, but so far we have not cracked major support just yet. Taking a look at some of today's action stocks, or stocks that were moving. MDAS gapped up across a key resistance zone, got up and through everything, and then backed off. You can see the close here at 1409, up 231 or 19.6%, 5.5 million traded. That's the biggest volume I think I've ever seen on the stock, except for maybe back here a year ago when the stock broke down. So you can see how the stock based out and broke out, and now at this point, should we get to today's high, I'm looking for a move that takes it up towards the 16.5, 17 zone. LPSN had a big day breaking out of the large wedge pattern and exploding with volume of 2.6 million shares, the biggest volume in 7 or 8 months. Let's go back a little bit. Here's the large wedge, and the biggest volume, as you can see, going all the way back into here. So this is a key moment for it, because if you look at the long-term chart, you'll see that after it broke out of the wedge, it's now moved right up to the high going back in August of last year. So a move across this level here, and we're right at it, could explode this stock into the high teens. That's our target, around 17, 18. NSIT had a substantial move today. Here's your daily chart. You can see the key multiple tops in here were broken with a breakaway gap today. Now, secondary resistance was nearly tested around 23, getting up to 22.49, and backing off to 21.99. Still up 302 or 16% on 750,000 shares. Not a lot of volume, but it's a fairly thin stock anyway. So now looking at the long-term chart, you'll see that it could very well head up into the high 20s here. I'll set a target around 28, 29 on an intermediate secondary basis. First target, 24.5 area. Up next is LCAV. Good day for that today. Take a look at the pattern with the declining top sign broken with a breakaway gap here in early January. A big thrust. That was followed by a 4-week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave kind of consolidation flag. It popped out yesterday. We showed you that. Today had a nice follow-through day, reaching all the way up to 742, not far from my 7.75 target, and then backing off to 668. Not the greatest of closes, but still up 78 cents on nearly 1 million shares, or 13%. I'll still look for the stock to make forward progress and get it up to 8.5, 9 zone. Well, swing trader RAX with an explosive move today went up and through my target zone. I had a target up around 54.5, reached as high as 56.94 today. Closed at 55.45, up 622, 12.6%, nearly 11 million share traded, big volume. This could very well trigger a move into the mid to high 60s, but we certainly reached our swing trade target today. Dry ships accelerating, as many of the shippers are. You can see after this declining tops and that declining tops were taken out. Lateral price resistance here, and here we're taken out. Today it extended further by reaching 384. My target was 425 next. We still may reach that before we pull back. But with today's 68.5 million shares, the biggest volume in years on dry ships, we may very well have blown off into this area before we pull back. LF still looking great. Leapfrog in a beautiful rising channel. And as you can see, reaching near the top of that channel, my goal is still up around 8.75, 766 last, up 56 cents or almost 8% today. Zynga, which had been running, spiked up 2 weeks ago, and they consolidated last week, popped today, 93 cents or 7% on 33.5 million shares. That's huge volume for that stock. And although it did come out with earnings and dip down into the 12s, and then snap back to near unchanged before the close. So we may still see further upside. Mid-teens perhaps. Let's look at 15, 16 zone. Micron acting very well in here. Note that we had put out a swing trade when it broke out here in January. Ran up a little bit and pulled back to test the breakout point and moving averages. And note that over the last couple of weeks, it's moved up steadily. Today, peaking its head above resistance and closing above it, up 49 cents or 6.24% on 41 million shares. So we may very well see Micron reach higher levels, and my target now is about 940.50. Big pop for JIVE software, this recent IPO after popping 2 weeks ago and then consolidating. Yesterday broke out. We showed you that. Nice follow through today, up $1.12 or 6%. 691,000 shares, but looks to me like this has some momentum, and we could see even higher levels on it. Let's set a target about 21, 21 and a half. KOG, my favorite junior oil, been running up nicely until finally in January when it peaked out at the top of the channel, only to pull back towards the bottom of the channel. Pop to resistance and back off one more time to test, and today popped again 52 cents or 5.7%. A whopping 16.6 million traded. That's the second or third heaviest volume since November. And I like the way it's acting. If it gets through this line, we may very well see the stock extend and run up into the 12-13 zone. GLNG with a major snapback in the last couple of days, particularly today when it jumped 245 or 5.5% on 1.3 million shares. That's the heaviest volume in a month. Now it looks like we're going to retest the high up around 47 and change, for nearly 48. The high here was 47.82. So above that, we can get it up towards 50. That's my trading target. MHR, another beautiful little junior oil with a great looking head and shoulders bottom. Broke out, flagged, held support, moved up to resistance, backed off one more time. And then last 3 days, we popped through. It did back off at some point today, only closed up 27 cents, 4%. But 7.3 million, that's second heaviest volume in a couple months. So we can see the stock maybe move higher, and I'm looking for 7 3/4 on it. Endeavor, which is another swing trade we had picked back in here, backed off resistance, flagged, broke through, another flag, and today popped 47 cents or 4% on a million shares. Looks to me like this may want to go higher, and I'm looking for something around, let's call it 15, 15 and a half area. Halozyme continues to trend higher after the key breakout here, which we noted, and the swing trade which we put out here. The stock moved its way up to now reaching my target zone around 11 3/4. 769 was the high today. GNK reached our swing trade target at 10 today, 10.12 to be exact, and almost exactly where these two highs were, and backed off to close at 9.44. A little disappointing in the close, but we reached our swing trade target, so our traders should have been out around the $10 level today, as heavier volume traded 3.5, 3.6 million. That's the heaviest volume in the year. And lastly is Westport, which continues to just do great. After breaking this key line here, it ran up, had a reversal day, came right back up to make new highs today at 45.5. It's still within sight of maybe 49.50 zone. That's our target. And that's it for today. HB out. Talk to you soon.